Welcome back, ladies and gents. Tonight we have just gone past the halfway point of the season. We're at round 11 and round 12 of season 13 with the F1 lads. So as you can see, we're at Hungary for race 1. We will have our one-shot qualifying, then a 25% race, followed on by another 25% race running on a reverse grid for Silverstone. I am joined tonight by Pagani, who's once again joining me, so I'm not on my own. Alright, Paul, how you doing?
Alright, a bit warm.
The first race, it's going to be tough to overtake, but race 2, Silverstone, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to grab a couple of positions, definitely on the opening lap, so I think for race 2, especially with the reverse grid, we're in for some pretty good racing.
I mean, Hungary has sort of a special place in FTRL. We've seen some fantastic races. I know a couple of performance races around here have been fantastic. I mean, it's very easy to invalidate your qualifying lap at Hungary. So
it's essentially Monaco without the barriers, as everyone calls it, so it is very easy to make that mistake and either run wide or cut the corner.
So we might have some of the quicker guys starting down the back, and if so, yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
It's not easy to overtake, so...
Zumpy had a little mishap in quali last week which set him straight to the back, so I think he'll be hoping not to have that again. He'll be wanting a nice plain sailing race 1, as I can expect.
He will indeed, but he has changed his name to FTRL Zumpwa, so...
yeah, I was looking at that, I didn't quite know. So I was a little confused, I'm not going to lie. So yeah, that's Zumpy, Zumpwa. I think he's formally known as that now. So
yeah,
we'll call him Zumpy.
I'm blaming Will for all of this.
Yes, he started off with Sipwa, but it spiraled out of control.
It has indeed.
Yes. We've got everyone calling themselves whatever they are and then wah at the end.
Got a few people missing by the looks of it tonight.
Yeah, just a couple.
Obviously the hot weather messing with the minds of some people, not having a concentration by the looks of it, but yeah.
I thought you were going to throw a shot at me by saying having a go at the PlayStations. It was kind of very worried what you were taking there.
I mean, I can just envisage some people just having a nice bike ride and not having the energy to come back and race, so...
it's a nice day, but, you know, we're sat in here playing with pretend cars, so we're the ones having the most fun.
I mean, we're sat here talking about people playing pretend racing. Yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
Can't look like I'll put my feet up outside.
It adds to our character.
Yeah, we're both a pair of idiots.
Somewhat mothers.
But yeah, a few of the guys missing. I mean, the boys that have been finishing towards the back will be looking to finish inside that top 10 today.
Yeah, it's gonna open up some opportunities. Obviously, for those who don't know, it is everybody scores points. It goes to P.
Oh,
okay.
Oh,
There's rain. Zumpy was mentioning that in the chat earlier, the F1 chat. And someone was saying, I can't quite remember who it was, but they were saying, I really hope it's not raining. It's raining, so they won't be very happy.
If it's a dry race, wet qualifying could make this interesting, as dry setup on a wet track are not the easiest things to control.
Not exactly, so it can put a little bit of a mix in the grid. So all this is helping out for a good race. Obviously with the nature of the track, it is quite tight, but in real life you wouldn't see many overtakes, but it's not real life, and we do tend to have some fairly decent racing, so I expect there'll be a few good overtakes tonight. I hope this just goes a little bit wide at turn 1. Oh, that's Donzo who's spun on turn 1, unfortunately.
Every single person on intermediate tyres, so yeah. It's not full wet.
Not full wet.
Oh, Mikey's gone.
Yeah. I think it was Donzo also had a little moment at turn 1 as well, to the halfway round. So, yeah, it is only intermediate, so it's not fully coming down. So that's a saving grace for the few of them, I guess. It shouldn't be as difficult to get around here, but Panda is currently leading the way for the pole position so far. He's at P1 where Katami is in P2.
Oh yeah, Donzo's really not liking any wet conditions, which suggests he might be on a dry setup.
No, I fully expect a lot of the lads to be on a dry setup. I think it does tell you on the computer inside the garage if it's going to be dry in the race when it's on one-shot quality, so they'll probably know whether it's wet or dry for the race, and they'll have changed the setup to that. But I'm not surprised that a couple of lads are having a bit of trouble with the rain, because it's not exactly a track you expect rain at. So that's Panda, the pole position.
So Panda's put it on pole. We have a cat fight, second and third.
Okay, I see what you've done there. So yeah, Nexus Cats with P2, and then Katami's in P3, only just over half a temp split in P2 and P3, so it's looking close between the two.
Well, I think Goy went full Goy in qualifying as he's dropped to the back of the field towards the end, so possibly a spin on the last couple of corners.
A full Goy can even mean going for a punt and completely coming out on top and being a legend, or it could go crashing and burning. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's went too well for Goy, but he has got a fair few laps around here to make up for that. It is on a 100% race, it's about 70 laps, so I'm probably guessing maybe around 18 laps they've got in this race, somewhere around that.
I mean, we'll say that and see what the computer says afterwards, because I have no idea.
So we shall see if it's wet or dry for the race.
We had the top 5 within the same second in qualifying, so also those front 5 looking very quick. If you have a driver,
We do. So everyone just making those little changes to the setup or the front wing and adding an extra little bit of fuel, as I usually prefer to go 3 laps over on the fuel. Just stay in rich mix for quite a while. But these lads know what to do more than I do. They'll be starting the formation lap in a minute.
I tended to take fuel out. Don't know why.
I love to throw a load in.
Because I was that slow, I never actually used any. So it was.
I just fill it up 3 laps over, put it in rich mix for a while. Use the engine to substitute for my terrible pace.
We have a formation lap starting.
Everyone making their move off the grid, so Panda and Cats already trying to get some heat into those tyres. We have Nexus Cat in P2, a good qualifying for the Williams, with Katami's in P3. It was looking like he might have been able to challenge for pole at one point, but Nexus Cat just about managed to get in front of Cat, and Panda got himself a lovely 3/10 buffer in quality to them. So it will be encouraging for himself, with Zumpoir in the Haas at P4, closely followed by Brutus Beer. He is in the Alfa Romeo, driver number 9. We've got Switchback in his Mercedes in P6, as he just heads into the middle section, which it's tough to make some overtakes. It's Monaco without the barriers.
AJ's caught Goy curb and on the formation lap.
Oh no, it won't be encouraging for him.
He just dropped him behind his good mate Lee.
So we've got onto the podium, P7 in the Ferrari, with Ross not far behind him. He's in P8 in the Renault, with AJ P9 and Agent Panda rounding out the top 10. We've got Matt in P11 in his Red Bull, and Lee Cole in P12. It's not the best of qualifying for him, but he will have plenty of opportunities to claw his way through the grid, with Donzo in P13, a little bit of a tough quali, a little bit of a mishap in turn 1. The car wasn't facing the right direction. We got Guikarp in P14, who unfortunately went full joy, and Mike, who didn't get to finish his qualifying lap, I think he might just have a little bit of a crash. He is down in P15 as we line up on the grid.
Well, the guys had 3 tyre choice. We're doing wet quali. We've got 3 medium runners: Zumpy, Matman, and Mikey at the back. Everyone else is on the soft.
Yeah, the lads at the back taking a bit of a. Mike at the back taking a gamble with the tyre choice. But looks like Panda got a decent
Cat has had a flyer.
Yeah, he always does good starts. So he's looking, he might have a chance of the lead into turn 1, and looks like he's just about got that lead. We have Brutus Beer going a little bit wide out of turn 1. So everyone's slotting in. That is Zumpy down inside Brutus for turn 2. Is he going to be able to keep it doing, or backs out into 3? So it's all fairly single file right now. There's not like there's an awful lot going on. Lee Coles went up 2 positions as we approach turn 4. So it's a good start for Lee. Agent Panda not too far behind. Mike's got up to P13 as well. He's just been overtaken by Donzo for 14.
I was going to say, it looked like everybody still has the front wing, but Mikey has yet again got front wing damage.
That's unfortunate for Mike. It's not the
if
best
Mike
luck on
had,
his opening laps.
If Mike didn't have any luck, it would be an improvement, because at the moment all he has is bad luck.
Well, unfortunately, he wanted to run the medium tyres for a while, but it's not going to work for him, unfortunately. There's a yellow flag. That's Ross has been turned around, it
Ross
looks like.
Ross has got damage.
Yeah. So that'll be Ross having to pit in. It looks he is on the soft tyre. So go further back up the grid. That's Donzo around the outside of Matt for the final corner. It actually looks like he got it done. It's a good little move from Donzo, it looks.
Yes, but Matt has the higher top speed.
Switchback and Connor have gone around at turn 1.
Nice, I mean, that's a shame. Yeah, obviously we don't want drivers coming together. But, Donzo's up the inside of switchback. The switchback comes back onto the track.
That's all single file up into turn 4. It looks like Nexus Cat was looking to try and find his way through Panda, but he's there on the inside of 5. Couldn't quite make it happen. That's Cat spun out, made a tiny bit of contact. He's done a 180 and he's facing south, unfortunately. That's his P2 out, or it's his P3 out the window so far. We've got Panda still very much on the heels of Cat. So he's not letting them get away with that P1. But unfortunately for Nexus Cat, it's left him quite further down behind Guikarp. So he's got a lot of work to do. A little bit of front wing damage and definitely some overheated soft tyres, and they're called them super softs.
Oh, switch back, we've got no front wing. He's had an incident coming out of that second sector. I believe we saw Sergio Perez upside down really a few years ago.
So it's looking like Panda, not quite. No, though Panda's going to have a look at Cat, but not yet. He doesn't have DRS just yet, mind you. It has just been activated this lap, so only time they'll get to use it is on the start of lap 4.
Well,
Matt has got past Gui.
In the championship, our top 3 in the race, and Zumpy's on a medium tyre, so
strategically he's looking in a better spot. You know, he's going to have that longer tyre life. It's definitely going to help him out once they get a further few laps into the race. It'll open up more opportunities on the brakes. Obviously he'll have a lot more grip. But Mike can switch back and will put on a set of hard tyres, so I think they might be trying to go to the end or near the end.
Lee and on the podium having a fight through the middle sector.
They are. This is Lee down inside. He's going around the outside of the right, of the fast right hander. He's just got it. A good little overtake from Lee Cole.
So this isn't the battle that on the podium would want to be in. You'd expect him in that top 4 battle. Obviously that incident with switchback earlier.
DRS is going to be in operation in a second. Panda right behind Cat.
That's what he was pushing Lee around the last corner. Lee gets DRS of the car in front, so
We've got Zumpy right the way down the inside the Cat and Panda. So Zumpy getting his elbows out a little bit.
The rewide into turn 1 doesn't work for us. Panda is pushed off track. Brutus is up inside of him now.
Yeah, Brutus trying to make an opportunity work for himself, but Panda just about managed to defend it. But it looks like Brutus is trying to get him into fault. Panda's backed out, he's let him have it. Doesn't see much point in fighting too aggressively, but that little banging doesn't look like they've got damage, so they all look in fairly decent shape. Got no wing damage for the top 3.
Panda running a little bit wide at Goy curb, but keep the car in a straight line.
So Panda not far off Brutus, he's still in the back trying to find his way through in the second sector. There's not an awful lot he can do, I'm guessing, until he reaches turn 1.
Well, I'm going to guess into the FTRL Panda is going to be going by his old gamer tag of Angry Panda at this rate. He doesn't like being pushed out the way, so...
No, but he's dived into the pits.
Pits early, goes for the undercut.
So I don't know if that's an undercut or if there's a tiny bit of damage you just can't see. Hopefully it's not damage, as it does seem quite early for him to be pitting in.
Oh, onto the podium, trying to get past Lee's in the slipstream of AJ.
Oh, it's going to be 3 wide, looking towards 1. So the lead down the middle onto the podium on the inside. Can Lee maybe set up a switch back? It was not quite onto the podium. Still in P4. Donzo, that's AJ. Oh, I was very close to an incident.
Got wing damage.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't take anybody with him then. So got a little bit hairy on the run down to 2. That was a bit of a close one.
Oh, no.
So Matt and AJ both having a little battle. That's Matt through into turn 5. So that's Matt.
AJ with his front wing damage is just looking to get back to the pits.
Yeah, he's just gonna have to get that new front wing on. There's not an awful lot he can do right now, apart from hopefully get the car to the pits in a half decent shape.
Well, Catamese is coming in to block off the undercut of Panda.
Yeah,
so we'll have to see where they come out in relation to each other.
We'll go on board with Panda. He's coming up to the penultimate corner right now.
He is, and he just had a purple middle sector, so he's been pushing this lap.
Well, he is in the I think he might be in the slipstream. DRS of AJ, as he was quite close behind him. He's got 3A and DRS, so that should help him out.
Pit exit.
And Panda just about gets the undercut on Cat. So he made it work. And both on the medium tyre.
Zumpy was 1.2 seconds in front of Cat, and Panda is 0.8 in front of Cat already, so
should be
how
a bit
early
closer between them.
Zumpy come in and get up those soft tyres?
He doesn't
I don't
want
know how long the softs will last.
He doesn't really want to waste the medium tyre, but he doesn't want to drag it out too much to really get seriously undercut by Panda. So I think it's a tough one. He's going to have to try and balance it out. So it'll be interesting to see how he reacts to all this. Obviously he will have a fresh tyre on the grippy
had that
one.
wiggle earlier, but he's closing down on the back of Lee now.
He is, so it's looking like there's going to be a good battle between Lee and Panda. Obviously Panda did have a good little battle for podium positions at the start of last week's second race as they both pit in.
Brutus and onto the podium, and Lee and Panda are all in the pits, so yeah.
4 of them have popped into the pits. Donzo is staying out. I expect he'll probably come in this lap as he doesn't exactly fancy double Panda, he's looking to get a move done on Matt, who's right down the inside into turn 1. So that is Panda up into P3, continuing his chase for Zumpy. And he has gained a fair bit on Cat.
I was going to say, when Panda's in charge mode, I don't think anyone in this grid can catch him.
So the gap between Panda and Cat is just over 2 seconds. So Panda is definitely pushing the car. So he definitely does want that race win. I think it's going to be a tough, tall order for Cat to try and keep up with him.
Oh, Lee's gone! The fast left-hander.
We've gone. Oh yeah, it's very easy to lose the
Oh,
rear end there, but
Mikey's
Mike's
gone.
gone as well.
Is that the same spot?
It's the
It
same
is.
spot.
They passed into each other. I think Mike's just saying hi to Lee, just giving him a bit of wave, just, you know.
See, this is the community part of FTRL. Mike saw Lee in a tough situation. He didn't want to leave him on his own.
Well, Donzo's in the pit lane, but his pit limit is engaged already, and he's still not at the pit line yet.
Yeah, he's being fairly safe with it.
Yeah. So we're going to lose a lot of time.
Yeah, better than getting a 5-second stop go. But yeah, did turn the limiter on quite early. Panda 19 seconds off Zumpy so far. We'll see how that progresses.
That last lap.
So we'll see how that progresses between the two. He's just gained 2 tenths in one corner, so
he's pushing on.
He is. He's pushing his little heart out. But Donzo past Ross. He's around the outside to 2. Ross is trying to keep it down the inside. But will he keep it into turn 4? It's a good little battle between the two. So Donzo just about managing to defend from Ross, holding the outside of turn 2 to give him the inside of 3. So a good little bit of defending work from Donzo there. I think he'll be happy with that.
I think Ross has missed the breaking point for the chicane. Very nearly hit the back of Donzo.
Yeah, had to skip out that chicane to avoid taking out the Ferrari. So it looks like
but I think
Ross having a little bit of trouble.
I think Ross is just trying to get to the end of this race on his tyres 6 laps after being forced to pit early with wing damage.
I'm expecting he'll probably have to pit in, otherwise he's going to be caught in a close between a puncture at the end of the race. We are 9 laps in, which has kind of flew by. There's 18.4 between Panda and Zumpy over the last lap. He's gained about 6 tenths. So he is catching.
He is indeed. I'll tell you something else he's catching. Brutus is right on the back of Matt now. Matt's still at the pit off his medium tyres.
None of them have damage. That's not coming into play with anything, so it's going to be a straight out battle in terms of pace. Ross picks himself up a 3-second penalty.
I believe that's his second. He's not enjoying the Hungary circuit.
Matt's struggling with these tyres now. He's making little mistakes that are costing him time. It's allowing Brutus to get ever closer to the back of him. It's making his position even more difficult. So I'm expecting Matt will pit in soon.
Matt in the pit, so Brutus to get past with the DRS down the straight.
So Matt's staying out and Brutus is going to have that DRS onto the podium, trailing not too far behind, only 1.7 seconds.
Yeah, and Brutus got a much better run onto the straight.
Yeah, it's just that difference in grip between the 9-lap old and the 3-lap old tyre. That's Brutus up into P4. Matt pretty close to the tap of the back of him, managed to keep it nice and clean. The Panda is now 18.1 behind Zumpy as we head on to lap 10 at turn 4. So he is gaining. He's 17.8 now.
Well, the battle for 7th place is a battle for the ages. Agent Panda runs a little deep. These two have been teammates before. They've had battles for I think 6 straight seasons now. Who's going to come out on top between Goy Carp and Agent Panda?
They have a lot of experience each other. They have their own little rivalry, so I think once Panda gets up to the back of Goy Carp, it's going to be an all-out fight for position. But there's only a lap between their tyres, so there's not much in terms of grip. It's just how they can handle their tyres. But Ross and Donzo, they are closing up to the back of them, so that's one thing they're going to have to look out for. They're looking forward, but they've also got to do a little bit of looking back. Panda now 17.5 behind Zumpy.
Well, onto the podium, found the back of Matt. He's got DRS. Should be an easy move into turn 1.
Should be. On the podium, on the inside. Matt's trying to hold the outside. Once the podium does get that DRS on the run down to 2, so there's not an awful lot Matt can do to respond to that. That's onto the podium, up into 5, 1.9 seconds off Brutus Beer, who's P4. But the gap between Panda and Cat seems to be gaining a few tenths now. So I think Cat's trying to up the pace a little bit. See if Cat's gaining just a couple tenths, so they are very similar on pace, pretty much, where they're setting lap times within the tenths between them.
It's alright up on the pace now, but he's 5 seconds back.
It's a lot to gain. It's a huge gap that he's got to gain, but there's still that chance there for him to get P2 because Zumpy's got to pit in, which he is. He's on the soft tyre. And where will Panda be once he comes out the pit? It's going to be close, I can tell you that. Well, actually, no, it's not. Panda's well clearly through. But Cat...
Zumpy on fresh softs.
Yeah, Zumpy is on the fresh softs, only 2.2 seconds behind, so Panda's got to do a favour to defend. And Katamirs couldn't quite make advantage of that undercut. He is still 3.2 seconds behind Zumpy in P2. So it's not the pace Cat would have been wanting. He would have been wanting to be in the mix, but Matt pit in for a set of softs too. So Donzo and Panda. Donzo around the outside of one. Panda sticking it to the inside, trying to defend. It's a good battle between the two. Ross is just sat behind watching all this go on. That's Ross. Donzo. He's missed his breaking point by too much, and that's made Panda's job of defending a hell of a lot easier. And that's allowed Ross to get through into P8 with a free position. So Ross will be happy with that.
Ross clipped on inside curb.
There's a little bit of a wobble coming through full.
Full opposite lock. He was turning right to go left, which is not what we want.
He's been watching a lot of Disney's cars in the last few days, I guess. He's mastering the art of drifting. He's close up to the back of Panda. They should go on board with this battle. So that's going to be good between the two of them. So Greek Harps managed to keep a decent gap between the two. He's got 3.8 seconds to Panda. Ross is right up on the back of Panda through the penultimate corner. Got pretty close for a moment.
I mean he has, but Ross has done the Ross type thing and already got 3 penalties. So.
Yes. He's not making life easy for himself. He is flying with that TRS.
Towards the outside of Panda. Oh, little bit of contact.
Oh, is Panda having to put some opposite lock on to stop the car from going the wrong way. That is Ross up into P7. His next target is Guikop, but he does have three second penalties to deal with, so he's in threat of losing a couple of positions if he doesn't clear a gap as quick as he can.
Well, Zumpy's about to get inside the DRS range of Panda.
It's getting close between the two. This is going to be a battle for the race. Important. Granted, a point difference between P1 and P2. P1 will be getting 20 points and P2 will be getting 19. But that's not going to matter between the two. They're going to be wanting that race win and they don't care how many points it gives them.
Donzo's having another look at Agent Panda.
Go on board.
Wheel contact made.
A little bit of tapping between the two. That's allowed Nexus to get up the inside of Agent Panda. So that's Cats up into P9. So I think Agent Panda will have the DRS now. So he'll be looking to respond, but also Nexus Cats will have it. So I don't see an awful lot of opportunity for Agent Panda to respond. Agent Panda sticks behind the Williams as the Williams just get a little bit of a cut into turn 1.
Well, Zumpy is well on the back of Panda now, as we have onto the podium on the back of Brutus as well. So we've got a few battles going on at the moment.
Yeah, good couple of battles. On the podium's looking to try and get P4 and Zumpy's looking to try and get P1. So we'll stay on board with Zumpy for now as Nexus Cat gets a 3-second penalty. We'll see how much this DRS really is worth on the run down to turn 1. He's going to have that extra bit of grip coming around the final corner.
Panda doesn't have a lot of ARS to play with either.
He doesn't have a lot to defend with, but Zumpy also has a lot to attack with as he sets the fastest lap.
Oh, Panda a little deep on the brakes, misses the apex. Gives him a little bit of a bare exit coming out the corner.
The tyre weight is gonna be playing its own little role. As Zumpy goes a little too tight to turn 2.
Brutus is defending from onto the podium.
He
the podium
is.
trying to switch back, but he's going to be forced for the outside.
Brutus is trying to deploy the bus on the bus. So it's looking like it's going to be a good battle between the two for P4. So onto podium,
onto the
gets
podium,
us over
cutting
3 seconds.
corners. Just being a cheat.
Yeah, as usual. Gets us over 3 seconds. If in doubt, cut the corner. That's Connor's motto.
Panda's had a very good middle sector, but he's still within DRS range of Zumpy, so...
Yeah, there's not a lot he can do. It's a situation where Zumpy being on the soft tyres really testing Panda's mettle. So it's going to be a good battle between the two for P1. But the gap coming out the final corner is the same as it was the last lap, so not an awful lot has changed. I mean, DRS is worth a couple tenths, but Panda got a clean turn 1 this time. He's got a nice exit as well.
Panda is driving normally at the moment.
He's doing a fantastic job of defending, especially with the pressure of Zumpy trying to get that race win on a new set of
On the
softs.
podium, trying the outside of Brutus from turn 1 this time. If he holds it, it'll give him the inside for turn 2.
Well, and it looks like he's in front of Brutus. Brutus is right up on the back, and he'll be looking for the outside of 2 as he hits the brakes as late as possible. And that is onto the podium, through into turn 4 so far, but Brutus in that slipstream. He's looking around the outside of 4.
He did
Contact
this with
between the 2, and that's onto the podium. Turns around.
Did the same move with Panda earlier on. Panda lifted onto the podium, will never lift in any situation, so...
And that has resulted in a bit of an incident between the two, as onto the podium, facing the wrong way, 8.5 seconds behind Brutus.
Oh, it's going to be fun to be a steward tonight.
Good luck, Paul. This is why I'm a commentator and not a steward. I get to do the fun stuff.
But Switchback is trying to rescue something from this race. Currently P12 is chasing down Matt. Matt is on the soft tyre and Switchback is on the hard tyre.
Switchback will be gaining 8 points if he finishes to try and get 9 points. He's pretty close to the back of Matt, as I am on board with this battle between Zumpy and Panda. I don't think much will change in the middle sector, so we'll hop on board with Switchback. I think Aaron will be looking at this very happy seeing Switchback in P12. They're making his day.
He has got a good run on the straight. Matt's gone defensive, been on the middle of the track.
Switchback's will be a serious threat into turn 1.
Matt brakes very late.
The Switchback's looking for the Switchback.
He's going to have to go to the outside. Matt will probably go to the inside for the corner. Brakes
Matt
late.
The brakes late. A little bit of contact between the two. Just a little bit of argy-bargy. But...
Oh, Matt's taking it around the outside of the right hand. He's going to come inside for the left.
He's not giving in. They're hanging it with each other for turn 4. That's Matt. Like he's gone in the barrier.
It looked like Switchback just turned into him, I'm not going to lie.
So contact between the two. Switchback probably just expected them to back out of that, but it's not exactly what happened. That is Matt with front wing damage. The Switchback up into P11. He will be scoring 9 points.
Well, last lap, we still have a battle for the lead. Panda is holding on valiantly. Can he do it for one more lap?
Yeah, there's not an awful lot Zumpy can do unless he hits some sort of turbo button on the couch. I don't think he has. So it's going to be a tall order to get the move done on this last lap.
I've just seen a certain hashtag in the stream chat just saying that I'm a bender. Oh. Well, that's not very nice, Aaron.
Well, that's Aaron flirting, Paul. Okay, so in actuality, it's actually Aaron. That's the bender. So take it as a compliment, Paul.
And they're looking to hold on.
Yeah, he is.
Look at the brakes right for one more corner.
So he's done a fantastic job to get that undercut and holds it from a guy on fresher tyres on a softer compound. So a fantastic job from Panzer season come through for P1 with Zumpy in P2. Katamirs must have been desired in that race. Started P3, finished P3. So it's not the best race for him, unfortunately. He did want to benefit from the undercut on Zumpy, but couldn't quite make it work. Brutus got a little bit of a weave, takes P4 at the final corner. Not the best of races for onto the podium. A little bit of a contact with Brutus as saw him coming back in P5, 8
the battle's
seconds
on
behind.
Goykarp 6th place. Ross is chasing him down, but obviously has those 9-second in penalties.
Very close between the two coming to the line, but as you said, penalties have played a massive part. Ross has dropped down 2 positions. So that's next is Cat P8 with Donzo 7th and Ross in 9th. We'll switch back. He has dropped. Oh, he has actually got past Panda. He's in P10. Panda P11. Matt in P12.
To be fair, it's the only way that Switchback would actually ever get past Agent Panda is on penalties.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, if you gave me a choice, Agent Panda or Switchback, I would take Agent Panda every day of the week.
I think everybody would, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's a unanimous decision to go against Switchback. So he'll be looking for Switchback will be looking for the bit of strength into race 2. He will be starting near the front, I think, as he did finish P10. Actually, no, he'll be starting P10 around there, I think.
He'll be starting P5.
Yeah, he will, because 5 drivers have eliminated tonight.
We had 15 drivers and he finished 10th. I know it's been a long day, Michael.
Yes, leave me alone.
That's simple math that even I managed to work out.
I was thinking of 20 drivers, then I realised, oops, there's only 15. So, Panzer P1 with Zumpoit in P2 and Cat P3. Brutus in P4 and onto the podium in P5. At Goykarp 6, Donzo 7th. Nexus Cat in P8 with Ross in 9th. Switchback in 10th, losing 4 positions. And unfortunately, we saw a leak-hole bottle already.
We did, and you didn't jinx him this time. He did it all by himself.
I know. I'm probably going to get a message of him asking me did I jinx it. So I'll proudly be able to say no and not be lying to him.
Well, I've just seen a message in the admin chat from Mikey talking to Lee, saying that it's him and both of that pair on the front row, so it guaranteed a crash into turn 1.
Oh yeah, Lee Cole in a higher up position. It's going to be spicy. But I'm not going to jinx him. So I might do a reverse jinx. I'm going to say Lee Cole is going to do very bad this race. Not with me, I'll speak it into existence now.
to be fair, I don't think people would realise if it didn't happen. Like,
yeah.
It's Lee. He's already said he's going to spin at cops, so...
Yeah, I don't know quite how you spin it at cops. So you've got to put a bit of effort in to spin the car around there. But it's Lee, he can make anything happen.
I mean, I can see Aaron in the chat, I can see Junkie Sport in the chat, I see City Posh in the chat. If you boys have any clue as to what's going to happen in this race, please let us know. Do you reckon Switchback is going to bottle it once again?
Is that even a question?
Do you reckon onto the podium is going to crash into anyone else?
Yeah, I think for this one, especially with the nature of the track and previous history around here, quite a lot happened. So for everyone watching, I'm probably going to ask for your top 3 in the chat. I think that'll be a little interesting to see what everyone thinks. I'm going to ask you for your top 3, Paul. got the cogs
I
turning.
mean, I'm gonna go for my old teammate Agent Panda to win the race. Followed by Goikar and no other finishes because Goy will go full Goy.
Says Goikov just gonna eject a banana off the back of the car and send everyone into a barrier.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, Lee's put in a chat that if he spins at cops, he's blaming you, Michael. So.
Yeah, well, competence on something. So, Lee's expecting to spin a cops. So we'll see what happens to them. We'll keep an eye on him, and I'll try and not to jinx him, so I don't get angry messages in half an hour's time.
I mean, I just jinxed him on purpose.
Yeah, I know. That's what I've been doing.
That's just fine. But no, you'd expect FTRL, Panda, Zumpy and Cat to come through the field. They do seem to be the class of the field this season.
Yeah, they definitely. Well, Panda's going to be starting 15. See, I know we're using 15 cars now. Zumpy in P14 and Cat in P13. So the three of those will be looking to fight their way up the field. There's not as many cars for them to try and get through tonight. So a podium and a race win is even more on the cards for those tonight. I think they'll be licking the lips at the opportunity.
I mean, obviously with Ross's penalties, he'll be starting fairly high up as well.
Don't do him like that. So,
I mean, maybe Ross got those penalties intentionally, so he started higher up at Silverstone.
Yeah, Ross's misfortunes actually working out for him, but I expect he'll probably get 10 penalties in the drive through this race.
More than likely. Or wing damage lap one, once again.
Yeah, especially with a track like this, everyone's going to be trying to overtake each other at not turn one, on lap one. There's quite a few opportunities, so I'm expecting there to be fireworks on lap one, as we've had that in previous seasons.
I mean, surprisingly, we have a dry Silverstone, which is not something you usually see.
No, it is not. But with the way the DRS zones are on this track, it is more of a power track, so we'll use season 10 as a comparison. With F3, we had Jamie and Blue Flag, I believe it was, literally fighting each other for the entirety of the race. So it does throw out the possibility of us having a long-winded battle around here. Obviously, it's going to be, for those who are close on pace, there'll be a lot of swapping positions.
Well, I'm going to be interested to see what happens because Lee normally holds everybody back during a formation lap. Well, this time he's starting from the front.
Yeah.
So.
There's fireworks going on outside. I'm sorry if you can hear that.
It looks like Lee's going very quickly on this formation lap.
Yeah. Instead of holding everyone up, he's running away. So Mike is trying to hold everybody up. And I have fireworks going off, unfortunately, and I've got a scared little pup out with me right now. I'd have to who's not a fan of fireworks, so sorry if you can hear that in the background. We have got
people in Scousland not realise that you can't see fireworks in daylight.
Mate. Yeah, that's exactly how it is. I love how you call it Scousland as well. Makes it feel more mystical. Even though a lot of unusual stuff goes on down here.
Well, you've got the pair of Scots in 6th and 7th.
Fighting for the pride of Scotland, or what's left of it.
Well, I think Switchback is fighting for Ben Shepherd.
Yeah.
I know they became very good friends after that tipping point exchange. So.
If you don't know what we're on about, this
where have you been
Scottish
for the last 6 months?
Yes, this Scottish little fellow over here, he thought it was a good idea to go on telly.
Zumpy's gone.
Not the best formation lap for Zumpy.
I mean, we'll just say he was warming his tyres a bit thoroughly.
So Brutus and onto the podium had a little bit of a coming together last race, and it's not even the end of the formation lap, and Brutus is already inside onto the podium. So this is looking spicy between the two of them.
I can't think of anything worse than being inside of onto the podium.
Yeah, it's something. I don't know from experience.
Two cars start on medium tyre. That's Brutus and Panda at the back.
We've got Lee Cole on the front row with Mike, so they will be looking to get a good start to the race. Lee Cole, in past history, has good starts around here, but this time it's looking like Mike might be having a better start. Oh, no, it is Lee having a better start. The camera's playing tricks on me. There is Nexus Cat going around the outside of Matt, who's gone down the inside of Ross.
Everyone's made it through turn one.
Yeah, it all seems fairly clean.
There's some Ferrari on Ferrari action.
There is.
And on the podium has wing damage. Donzo has wing damage. Both Ferraris have the exact same wing damage.
Could that have been the Ferraris having contact with each other? You may never know.
Ferraris having contact with each other. Where have we seen that before? Oh, Matt caught the inside curb.
Yep. That's Matt down into P15, got himself into a half spin. Yeah, curbs can be dangerous if you try and put the power down on them. So that's, oh, Zumpy hit the back of onto the podium of Cops, going down the inside of Panda. That was a... that was
the podium with
scary.
that wing damage. He's going to be slow through this section. It's a very fast section of track.
Markets and Beckett's, it's those corners where you're really relying on the downforce of the car to just flick it between the lefts and the rights. Unfortunately, Connor doesn't have a lot of that downforce, and he's still defending with everything he's got into Stowe. And they caught that hanger seat when it's a corner.
Oh, Nexus Cats went down the inside of Ross and clipped Panda and has caused a traffic jam.
Oh, there's an incident between Zumpy and Cat. The Zumpy just cracked an oversteer, pretty much drove into the side of the Cat, and they both went off the track. So that's Nexus Cat doesn't look to have any wing damage. Who was it that he went down the inside of exactly?
He went down the inside of Ross and hit the side of Panda. Oh, Agent Panda, that is.
Oh, Guikop and Donzo have come together, and Matt's just smacked into the side of Donzo's spun car. So that is Matt with more front, well, not more front wing damage, more misery to the start of his race. He's had a half spin, now he's got some front wing damage that he could do nothing to prevent.
Well, I want to guess that Donzo wanted to come in the pits, but obviously onto the podium came in the pits first. So Donzo now has no end plates.
You've got Zumpy around the outside of Brutus, and they're both making contact on the straight on the run down to Cops.
Ross has got a good run, Agent Panda, the side by side into Maggots and Beckett's. Ross held it round the outside.
Yeah, close between them.
Oh, Switchback's got wing damage, he's got barely any front wing on that left side.
Guikop's managed to find his way past Brutus and's getting past Switchback. The Switchback's had a bit of a... I don't quite know what's happened to Switchback. Brutus is going down inside Stowe.
Half a front wing.
Nice. Two positions in the corner. Both Brutus and Switchback have pit in. That's Cat with a 5-second penalty for speed.
So you have both Alfa Romeos right behind each other in the pit lane.
And Cat... Will Cat save that 5 seconds as a stop go?
Not if he's just got it in the pit lane this time, no.
No, okay. I was going to say that can make life even worse for Brutus, and Brutus, he's just sat behind Cat while Cat changes his front wing.
Oh, Mikey's up the inside of Lee. Doesn't make a mistake. Lee holds on around the outside. They've got a 3-second lead to Ross.
Mike set the fastest first sector on the while chasing down Lee, so the two of them using that slipstream and DRS to pull away from each other.
Well, the bad news for all these boys is FTRL Panda has already made his way to 6th place.
The Panda
made up 9 places.
9 positions in 3 laps, so Panda is definitely on the charge. as we have his teammate in P5. So the embarrassment of Panzers are actually impressing us so far.
Yellow flag sector 2. It's
Who is
Goy.
that with? Yes. The Goy's got front wing damage. Left end plate's gone. And his tyres are going to be very hot after that excursion onto the grass. So
Well, onto the podium is at the head of that second battle pack of everybody else that's pitted, so...
He did cut a little bit of Maggots and Beckett's then. I thought he might get a penalty, but not quite. Not quite.
Well, Ross is gaining on Mikey and Lee in front. He's getting a second this last lap.
So Ross is looking to get stuck in this battle for the race, well, for the lead so far. Panda, let's have a look at the gap to the leader. So Panda's only 4.5 seconds off Lee.
He's chasing after AJ.
Yeah, he's quite close behind AJ, trying to find some way through using that extra grip he's got on the medium tyres. I think the softs will be starting to wear out a little bit by now.
But when Panda flicks that switch, nobody can beat him.
They
10 places in 4 laps.
His chase. He's driving through them like the AI.
He's on the medium tyre as well.
So Panda's definitely... This is the performance you'd expect for someone who's fighting for the championship.
He's got the run, he's got the DRS, goes to the inside.
He'll be past them before the braking zone, it looks like. Zumpy's also trying to find a way past his teammate as well. He'll be trying to get up into P5 past AJ. I think there's not much AJ can do in response to Panda's attack into Stowe. And Panda's next target's going to be Ross, 2.6 seconds ahead of him.
Zumpy's been caught behind his teammate.
Yeah, he is.
Doesn't look like there's much team order as it has. Oh, AJ's had a wiggle! Oh. Did very well not to crash into his one teammate there.
Managed to keep the car facing north and not making contact, so I think he'll... I wouldn't say he'll be happy with it, but he'll... he won't be as nervous anymore.
Got past Lee for the race lead, but Lee's fighting back.
Lee's staying down the inside. I don't know if this is Brooklyn's, but Lee holding it down the inside. It's looking like he might get through.
Brooklyn's is somewhere on Silverstone circuit, so we'll say it is.
I think it's
Lee down the inside.
Yeah, Lee down the inside the cops.
I mean, this is allowing Ross to catch up massively. Ross was 1.9 behind, he's now 6/10. You're going to have 2 bananas fighting a racing point.
Yeah, Mike is stuck in a banana sandwich. But Mike's trying to go around outside the stove.
Think of much worse than a banana sandwich is Lee keeps his nose in. Mike leaves his space. Lee catches the grass half spin. Oh, Ross is on the outside of his teammate.
This is getting spicy. There's definitely got a lot going on.
Oh,
Lee managing to just stick his nose down the inside the club, the second phase of club, and that's defended as P2 against his teammate.
I was saying, Ross is looking the quicker banana, but
Lee Cole, he's doing everything he can to defend that P2. He's got Mike in P1 as he's just on his run through Aintree.
And if you look directly behind them, less than half a second, you have Panda.
Yes, this battling on top of Panda's pace has allowed him to just close right the way up. So Panda definitely showing some good pace so far. Catmies with 30.5, he set the fastest lap.
Well, we've got Panda battling Lee now. These two are teammates in GT Sport, but it means nothing in F1.
No, tables are turned when it comes to F1. There's no team orders, no thinking about your teammate. Just got to try and find your way through at all costs. But the gap starting to spread out between the top 3. A little bit of a gap between Lee and Megatron, Lee and Ross.
I was saying Lee's falling away, but he has still got DRS. But Panda is gaining.
Yeah, he's not exactly going for here.
That Renault isn't slow in a straight line.
No, it's definitely slippy on the streets. That is Mike in the
Panda's
pits.
in the pits.
Yeah, Mike and Panda both in the pits on lap 5. So I think Panda's trying an undercut.
Mikey got a 5-second stop go for speeding in pit lane.
We Mike did.
Yep.
That's unfortunate. Didn't quite see that coming in from the lead, and unfortunately got himself a penalty. So that is Panda and Panda on the mediums and Mike. Oh, sorry, cancel. Panda on the softs and Mike on the mediums. I'm getting confused. It's not a difficult task to confuse me. So
well, no, this one was basically just English, but
yeah,
that wasn't.
Yeah. I struggle with my language sometimes.
Well, what can Panda do now? He's on a soft tyre. He's pitted and he's come out in 5th place. So
he'll easily be able to get this tyre to the end of the race.
Switch back, sets fastest lap, but he's 7 seconds away from the nearest car. It's a bit like living in Scotland, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's away from everyone.
Out the way. Just in his own little world. So, Panda probably won't know that Mike has a 5-second penalty. So
Zumpy had a run on Lady Lee, covered the inside. There's a bit of contact on the straight, but goes around the outside to Zumpy.
There's no front wing damage for the two of them. That's
Lee
Zumpy
can't
pitting
pit.
Yeah, Lee can't pit because Ross is coming in. So it's made Lee's position even tougher. Not having that track position has meant that he's got to do an extra lap on that old set of soft tyres.
Where do Ross and Zumpy come out the pit lane in regards to Mikey and Panda, as Panda has set fast a second sector and gained on Mikey this lap. Panda is flying.
Yeah, Lee and Zumpy are still pretty close in the pits.
I mean, the fact that Lee's just gone through sector 1.
So, Ross and Zumpy.
Oh, Ross is coming up the pit lane alongside Mikey and Panda.
Oh, I thought that was 3 wide into the... I thought that was 3 wide then. Got pretty nervous.
Panda's got past Ross.
It's just a yellow flag.
Yeah, Adrian Panda's had a spin at the last corner.
That's unfortunate.
FTRL Panda's down the inside of Mikey.
Yeah, he's making a little bit of a lunge on that Force India in Brooklands, and he might try the inside of the field. Not much he could do.
Panda is away. I don't think anybody will catch him now unless he makes a mistake.
Lee's got to pit in, and I think the pit stop gap's around 22, 23 seconds, I think. From the last time I drove there, it was months ago, like.
I mean, Ross was a good second half in front of his teammate. Then he came out alongside Panda.
So I think it is a long pit lane, so I'm expecting Panda might get past them.
Switch back with a penalty for corner cutting as he's cheating once again.
Ross right on the back of Mike on the way down to club. So the battle for P3 is not over just yet, 7/10 in it.
Lee's on the move down pit lane. Panda comes across the line to set fastest lap.
Panda's well going to be through. Lee's going to be down into P4.
P5, Zumpy's going to get him as well.
Yes, looks like it's going to be P7 he comes out, I think. Oh, he's just about got out in front. So
just in front of onto the podium, and Cat has sent it from miles away onto the podium.
Cat going for these two have a history, and Cat is add another page to that history book.
That wasn't audacious. That was a lunge from Narnia and back. That was okay.
Yeah. I don't.
Got a yellow flag.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, Matt's had a spin. On start finish straight.
Next is Katz has got past AJ on the way down to Brooklyn. So that is Katz up into P8. That's AJ down to P9. So Katz is still behind onto the podium after that insane lunge down into turn 2. No, turn 3. So luckily the front wing's in one piece.
Broke a bit early or what, but it just seemed to come out of nowhere.
It's even
Zumpy's up the inside of Mikey.
Yeah, he is. Now Zumpy up into P3. So I was about to say it was either onto the podium broke too early, or Cat missed his braking point, or decided I want this position, and decided to yeet it under the brakes as Panda set to 29.5. He's got another fastest lap.
Panda setting fastest lap on top of fastest lap. He is on fire.
He's just pushing as hard as he can.
If he keeps this up, it could be pole position and 2 race wins.
Yeah, they'll be scoring a lot of points tonight. So I think Silverstone's on those tracks where you've got to push flat, because if you hang back, you have more of a chance to make a mistake. So with him in a state where he's pushing, he's definitely pulling that gap, and he's gonna cruise to an easy win.
Well, we've still got this battle for 5th place. Lee trying to hold us on the fresher tyres, but onto the podium and Cat are looking racy behind him.
It's going to be Lee defending for the life onto the podium, trying to find whatever way past he can, but also he's going to have to be a bit of a bust to Cat, who's not far behind. He's only 2.5 tenths behind onto the podium. So this is going to get pretty interesting. There's only 3.5 laps to go. So we're going to be in for a good bit of race.
Podium's got a good run at the hanger straight.
You can't really do any dives down the inside.
Deep. He was very deep on the brakes.
That's allowing Cat to just get closer. Yeah, Cat's around the outside the club. Look, tucks in behind.
I mean, if you're going to try and overtake Connor, you don't go to the outside because you're just running out of track.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
Cat and Lee is battling. Has let Lee get out of DRS range.
Yeah, I was about to say, this battle's just let Lee go further up in front, and it's Cat's being a safety net for Lee right now, with him trying to get past onto the podium. There's not much Cat can do.
He's closing on the back of Ross now.
He is. There's not much Cat can do on the run to Luffield.
Got a battle for 9th place as AJ is trying to defend from the switchback.
Switchback's going to be trying to find his way through into P9 for 11 points in race 2.
And a battle for 12 places. You've got Donzo and Goy Carpo and Goy going down the inside.
They all want to stay on board with this battle between onto the podium and Cat, because when these two are in a battle, you're pretty much guaranteed something good.
Well, I'll keep flicking about. See what's happening elsewhere. Well, on the podium doesn't have DRS this time going down high straight.
Well, Catamise does. He's going to go round the outside of Stowe. You all know Connor doesn't allow you to go round the outside. Catamise is getting close under brake, sticking his nose in a club. Cat is doing anything he can to find a way to get past that Ferrari. I think with the way onto the podium makes the car like a bus, it's going to be looking more like 2 Ferraris instead of 1.
Well, Zumpy's going to be right in the back of Ross with this DRS straight.
We'll see if he can get P2 into Sheffield, into Luffield.
Down the inside.
Late on the brakes.
Ross doesn't fight it too much, but tries to go the outside for a switchback. But
is he going to try a switchback in Brooklands? It's not quite.
I think Ross will be happy with P3 if he can keep it.
Yeah, Zumpy got a pretty good exit. There's not an awful lot Boss could do right now. We're back on board with Catamise. Only 4 tenths behind that Ferrari onto the podium. Onto the podium is 1.1 seconds behind Lee, but he's now got that down into 9 tenths. So he might be in range of slipstream, DRS.
He's got slipstream, but he doesn't have DRS. So.
Switchback got past Nexus Cats on the entry to Maggots and Beckett, so he's now up into 8th.
But now he'll be susceptible to DRS from Nexus Cats.
He is. Does Cats have DRS? He does. Maybe look to get down the inside of Stowe, not quite. Maybe could.
For anybody watching, if we are murdering corner names, What do you expect us to commentate?
Well, I did look up corner names last week, so I've probably forgot half of them.
But Panda is on this final lap. He's looking very good at the moment.
Onto the podium, very close to the back of Lee Cole right now. So Lee is
Lee's
under
gone
a lot of pressure.
defensive, immediately gone back to the outside of the track.
Onto the podium's going to be looking at the inside, maybe? No?
I think onto the podium once that DRS coming up to hang a shirt.
Yeah, he wants that advantage on the final DRS straight, but Cat is also right behind him. So I think Cat is onto the podium's biggest threat right now.
Ross has picked up a penalty and Mikey is only 2.4 behind, so we might see a change for that last podium place.
At this stage of the lap, Cat is the closest onto the podium than he has been in the entire race. So this is going to get close on the run down into Stowe between them. Cat's got a few second penalty though.
Does that mean that Cat's still going to go for... Oh, they're both closing up on Lee.
Onto the podium, diving down the inside of Lee. Lee's holding that outside line.
Panda wins.
Sorry, Panda, fantastic race, well done.
Sends it, contact with Lee.
That's Lee's centre round. That is Cat has come out on top of all that. He is now in P5.
Under the podium did wait for Lee and they both jumped Cat on penalties, so...
So that 3-second penalty Cat got on the exit of Maggots and Beckett has just cost them 2 easy positions. So it'd be a bit unfortunate for them.
I mean, Panda's had a perfect race there. Got pole, won both races.
Yeah,
Might drop.
He got fastest lap as well. He also got the fastest lap for that race, so I think it's a clean sweep for Panda tonight. He should be very happy with that.
Oh, Matt spun on the last corner.
He is doing some charity work now, it looks, as we just wait for him to cross the line. And that is race 2. On with a dominant night from Panda. He's, if he wasn't leading the championship after the last week's races, he definitely is now.
Well, I mean, I said one Panda to win, so you know,
you did.
I was nearly right.
You got a 50% on the Pandas, so yeah. So that is Panda P1 with Zumpy P2 and Ross P3. So a good drive from those three. And a fantastic drive from Panda. Coming from, done a last to first, pretty much.
Yes, indeed.
So I'll let you do the run through of positions. So a lot of penalties.
Well, Panda holds off to win his second race of the night from Zumpy, who's had 2 second places, so the pair both done well tonight. Ross managed to hold on to P3 from Mikey, even though he got a penalty later on. Lee started on pole, dropped down to 5th, but I think he'll be happy he finished a race for once. Onto the podium, finishes P6 after that last corner tussle with Lee. Cat, unfortunate with penalties. Next is Cat's pitted early, but managed to fall back to P8, switch back AJ Donzo. Won't be happy, caught up in little incidents here and there. Agent Panda P12 finishes in front of Goy, which will be the only battle he's interested in, so not nice work, Agent Panda. And Brutus picked up a penalty on the last lap, but it didn't matter as Matt spun out with the last corner for 15th.
So a good bit of racing tonight. 1 and race 2. So there's not much to say to that. It's a little bit of a chaotic ending to the race, with that a little bit of a moment between onto the podium and Lee. But I think Lee won't be too mad. He didn't actually lose any positions, so Lee he'll be happy he didn't lose the positions. So we shall do a run through of what we've got going on next week. well, this week and next week for F1. So tomorrow will be the GT2 lads on GT Sport doing their round 3 and 4. Round 3 will be at Dragon Trail Gardens. Now I know a lot of lads in the GT1 aren't a fan of that track, so I think they'll be happy to see the GT2 lads suffer around there. And I won't lie, I'm quite jealous of their second race. They've got Bathurst in the GT3 cars. So that should be an interesting race too. We did see what happened on iRacing earlier on in the week with the supercars, so hopefully it won't be that mad on GT Sport. Will that be commentated on by Aaron and you?
I believe Aaron will be there. I'm not sure if I will be. So.
Okay, so we shall go to season calendar for the GT1 lads, and they will be racing at Fuji Short. Fuji. I'm quite happy that I don't have to do that. It's the cursed track for me. I know Aaron's got a history of, what shall we call them, photo finishes.
He has indeed.
Within the milliseconds, so I think he'll be looking forward to those races. The Fuji Short for race 1 and St Croix Layout B for the GT3 race. Commentated on by Switchback.
As far as I'm aware, yes.
And we will have the Nations Cup next Tuesday at 8 o'clock as well. That will be 5 teams, all based on a certain country. Currently, I believe we have France leading the championship.
I believe so, although it'll be very close with Japan.
Yes, it is France with 30 points and Japan with 28. So it's definitely close between those two. I think that will be something to definitely check out. And next Wednesday we will have more F1 that we've had tonight. That will be around Mexico and Germany for rounds 13 and 14.
That's a vicious pair of tracks.
It is the DRS zone. The first one at Mexico is massive, so there's going to be a lot of moves into the first complex of corners for 1, 2 and 3. And then Germany in itself, it throws up some good racing. I mean, we have had in the past, I believe it was FTRL Danny, who's not with us anymore. He went upside down over the top of another car who drove underneath them outside the turn 1. And in the past we had Ravers. He got a puncture on the straight and spun out on the straight when he hit the brakes. So these tracks have a bit of a history with us.
To be fair, I think that's just normal driving from Ravers.
Yeah, more than likely. So you'll have to suffer with us for another hour and a half next Wednesday.
Yeah, sorry, bros.
Yeah, sorry. So for those of you who have put up with us for the past hour, thank you. And we will see you next Wednesday. And make sure to check out the next races we've got on Thursday and Friday, and especially next Tuesday.